Well, welcome here. Tonight we're going to be doing a tutorial on the song called Make Room, and it's a fantastic song. What we're going to do, we're going to start by just kind of relaxing and just doing a little bit of a lip roll, and I want you to do your lip roll just kind of up and down through your range, just you don't have to match my pitch, but just up and down in your range. And if you want to just sort of relax a little bit, just let out a little bit of the tension. Charmony probably doesn't have any tension because she just woke up. But some of us have been up for a long time. Yeah, just relax the tension. Awesome. Okay, so give me a woo, woo, woo. Yes, I can almost hear you howling like wolves. Woo, woo, woo. Yes, and you're going to feel it up a little bit in your head resonance. It's tilting up higher like this. Excellent. Okay, then moving on to our chest voice. Let's go ba, ba, ba. Yeah, I can see some good B's. You really want to have a little bit of pressure on the beat. Ba. It helps your vocal cords to just zip up like that and gives you the ability to resonate deeply from your chest. Ba, ba, ba. Excellent. Okay, now we're going to just try out that little pharyngeal resonator. So give me a wah. Yeah, and if you want to get a good ping in your pharyngeal, you want to just make sure your mouth is a little more narrow and you drop your jaw a bit. It just makes it even more efficient. Wah! Wah! Mm-hmm. And you can scrunch up your nose. That works too. Wah! Wah! Awesome. Okay, so we're going to move into some exercises. And the first exercise we're going to do is a head voice goo. So goo is a fantastic exercise. I love goo because not only does it help us to practice our head voice, it actually, when we add a little bit of hoot to it, goo, 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 it lands up being a mix, a really light mix. And that is so handy to have in our songs. So the other thing I like to imagine when I'm doing a goo, I like to imagine that I have a straw between my lips. That's how I kind of, I know that I'm bringing my lips enough into a pucker. It's so easy to think you're doing it and go goo, 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 but goo, goo, goo. And when you form your lips like that, you actually create that beautiful shape inside your mouth where you're able to get more of that hooty sound. Goo, goo, goo. Sounds a bit more like an owl. So we're going to do that. I'm going to start with the guys, and we're going to do a 1, 3, 5, 8, 5, 3, 1 scale like that. Okay, guys, and girls, I will bring you in. And guys, you can keep going as high as you like because some of you guys have higher registers. You can move as high, if not higher, than some of us girls. So whenever you feel comfortable, I want you to drop out. But as long as you keep it light and you pucker your lips, keep your lips round. We want a nice, clear sound. We don't want to coo, coo, coo. We want to coo, coo, coo. It's very concentrated, okay? So guys, here we go. Yeah, girls, if you want, you could probably jump in. As long as you promise to keep it light at the bottom and not barrel down into your chest. So very light and concentrated. I'm seeing some really nice lip shapes there. Good job. We'll just come down. Make sure you keep that hooty sound, whether you're at the bottom or the top. You want to hang on to that. It's very valuable to be able to do it all throughout the range like that. And when you're at the very bottom of the scale, it's important to be light. If you want to drop out, you can. But if you want to try it out, as long as you're light. Excellent. Good job. Well, you got your head voice nice and warmed up, and we've done a really good exercise. Our next exercise is going to be the chest exercise. So just give me another ba, ba, ba. Yep, and now we're going to go to the yeah. 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 Yeah, I see some good jaws coming down. That's so important. If you're kind of new to this, you want to make sure that your jaw is coming down. And you can actually check to see if you're coming down by putting your hand underneath your chin, not touching it, but a little lower so that you have to actually lower your chin. Yeah. Okay, it feels very unnatural. So if it feels unnatural, you're doing great. Yeah. So try a yeah like that. Yeah. I'm sure there's some beautiful, rich, warm sounds coming from your lips. Okay, so we're going to take that chest voice, yeah, and we're going to do a 5-note scale. And actually, we're going to start with the girls. And we're going to go, yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, does that sound good? And guys, I will bring you in. So here we go. Yeah, 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 yeah. 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 Okay, guys. Yeah, 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 yeah. Girls, you can continue if you want. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Now, whenever you're doing these chest voice exercises, when you're working your way down, if you get to like the last couple notes and it feels a little bit too low, like that last one, especially for the girls, you can go right down into your vocal fry. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's called vocal fry, and it's super good for your voice. It's very relaxing, and what it does, it actually slows down your vocal cords, the vibrations, so it's able to relax, which is what we need when we get really low. We need to relax instead of tense up. Okay, that was good. All right, well, we have something very special today. We have my friend Chesney. She is part of our coach training program, and she is going to be helping me with this tutorial. So we're going to go to the next exercise, which is the neigh, and I'm just going to hand it over to you, Chesney. Why don't you just tell us a little bit who you are, and then take us through.
Yeah, thanks, Cherie. My name is Chesney, and I've been in this program for a few months and been singing for a long time. But so many of the things that Charmaine teaches have just revolutionized, the way that I sing, as I'm sure is true for many of you guys. So, I'm so thankful for her content, and I serve in our worship department here at our church and on staff leading worship and that sort of thing. So just excited to be here. So I'm going to walk us through our last set of exercises. So this is the pharyngeal exercises, and pharyngeal helps us in so many ways. The biggest thing is it helps us connect the two things that Cherie walked us through, the head and the chest, and helps us find connection between those two things, helps brighten our sound, provides flexibility, and lots of other things. So pharyngeal, think really whiny and nasally. So just give me a wah, 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 and say nay. And try to keep the mouth narrow when you do that. Nay, nay, nay. All right. And we're just going to do this on a little octave scale. So just sort of a nay, 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 nay. Okay. Keep it really forward, really nasally. And we'll do 4 on top. So nay, 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 nay. Back down. Okay. So let's start down here for the guys. All right. Nay, 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 nay. Keep it nice and released on top. Nay, 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 nay. Girls, you can join in around here. Nay, 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 nay. You can even scrunch your nose if that helps. Nay, 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 nay. Nay, 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 nay. Nay, 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 nay. Nay, 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 nay. And same thing, girls, just keep it released as it gets higher. Nay, 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 nay. Nay, 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 nay. Nay, 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 nay. Okay, let's go. One more. Nay, 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 nay. Back down. Nay, 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 nay. Nice and forward. Nay, 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 nay. And girls, as it starts to feel too low, feel free to drop out. Nay, 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 nay. Couple more. Nay, 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 nay. Okay, last one. Nay, 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 nay. All right, good job.
Thanks so much, Chesney. That was fantastic. Such a good exercise, and really you can only do that if you have chest voice developed enough and head voice developed enough, because we need both of those in order to mix them in that nay. So way to go. Alrighty, so now we're ready to kind of dive into our song. And this is such a good song. I love it. It's such a great response song, and it's a prayer in a song. I love to just sing it even alone at home. And it's been recorded by Community Music, and Elisa Smith. Often you can hear her sing it if you look it up. And it often has been recorded in the key of G, but today we're going to do it in F for the girls, and we're going to do it in B for the guys. And I just wanted to share, before we actually do any singing, something. My husband and I were road tripping this summer. We did a lot of driving. In fact, I live in Canada, for those of you, probably many of you who do not know, but I live sort of smack dab in the middle of Canada. And we drove west and actually visited Charmaine. And while we were road tripping, we were listening to podcasts. And it was such a great time. You listen to a podcast and we talk about it. And so one of the podcasts that we were listening to, the speaker was talking about surrender. And he was talking about Abraham. So he was saying that when Abraham left Ur, when God called him out of Ur, in a sense, what Abraham was doing is he was surrendering his past. Everything that he knew, whether it was good or bad, he was like looking back and saying, I'm giving this up. And that actually was I was thinking about it like, okay, I'm looking back in my life, all the things in my life, the good and the not so good, but I'm just surrendering that to God. I'm just like, God, that's yours. And then the other thing that Abraham did is when God asked him to sacrifice his son, even though God had promised him that he was going to have descendants as many as the stars in the sky, and he only had one kid. Well, he had Isaac, right? But God asked him to sacrifice him. And so Abraham lived in surrender, and even though he had been given a promise, he surrendered to God and gave his future to God, because, he will have seen Isaac as being the way of this promise being answered. Like, that does not make sense. And how many of you know that God will speak things to you and then the opposite kind of thing comes across and you think, this does not make sense, right? But Abraham trusted God to keep his promise in however he was going to. And he said, I know you could even raise him from the dead, which essentially he almost did. He kept him from dying. So I just love that. And so when I think about this song, then I kind of think of those two things, like surrendering my past, surrendering my future. So that's my little Devo on this song, because I just love it. So this song has two things kind of going on in it. One thing it has going on in it, it has a lot of range. We kind of dip really like, here is where I lay it down, and then I will make room for you. It's quite a bit higher. And so we need to be able to sing throughout that range without it being disconnected. So if I were to sing those notes of that range from, let's just say from F to B flat, and if I was to sing it without being connected, it would sound sort of like this. It would just sound like that, which sounds like, honestly, like three different voices. But what we want to have a seamless, connected voice throughout our range. So it would be, you can hear how it's kind of has a thread. It has something that's holding it together. So in order to do that, we need a mix. And we talk about mixes all the time, but it's because they are so important. So we need a mix for this song, and that is what we are going to do. Now, the other thing that happens in this song is there's a lot of repetition. This is my surrender. This is my surrender. There's just a lot of to do whatever you want to do whatever you want to. A lot of repetition. So if we sing everything the same, it starts to get a little bit monotonous. So we want to add some storyline and we want to add some color. So we're going to do that by means of our mix. There's a lot of ways to do that. And we could do all the ways, but we only have time for a little bit. So today we're going to do the main things. We're going to do the mix, and we're going to do some different mixes. So we're going to do a chest mix. We're going to do a light head mix, and we're going to do more of a pharyngeal or a power mix. And I was thinking about mixes, and my head goes, cake mix. I was thinking mix, and I actually love to bake, and I was thinking about brownies. So you got 3 different kinds of brownies. You've got your gooey brownie, you got your cakey brownie, and you got your chewy. Now they're all brownies, but they have like a little bit different of a mix. And that's the same thing with our voice mixes. We're using all the same components, but you know, in the chest mix, there's a bit more chest. In the head voice mix, there's a bit more head. In that more pharyngeal one, there's just a bit more of that in the mix. And so they're all still a mix, but they have their own distinctions. So we're going to do that today. So we're going to use the goo. We did that in our practice, in our exercises. And just like in the exercises, you know, when I was talking about having that hooty sound. Oh, I am sorry. I said goo, and I really meant to say we're doing chest first. I'm too excited about the goo. I like the goo. But let's go to the chest. Okay, so this is verse 1. And we're going to use a chest mix. This verse, when you start it out, it really lends itself to being speech-like. Because you're just saying, like, I'm laying it down here, God. I'm surrendering. And so we want to be as speech-like as possible. And it is in our lower range, so it's better to have a bit more of a chest. So we're going to use a yeah. And I told you that we're going to do it in the key of F. Now, what we're going to do is I am going to work through the exercise and the lyric. We're going to do it for the girls. Guys, you can do this in your own key later on. You can just apply these very same exercises to the songs. So we're going to do like this. We're going to take our yeah, okay? You got the idea? Okay, so we're going to do it together. We're going to sing through the whole verse all on yeah. Okay, so just give me a yeah. Just to kind of get yourself in the frame. Yeah. Okay, so here is our first note. Yeah, so here we go. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Now, one thing I did notice, I was just listening to different people singing, and I did notice that when this is my surrender, going down to that very lowest note, we need to be really relaxed on that bottom note. Because if we don't, we'll end up going a little sharp. Just like when we were doing some exercises before, remember how I was talking about even going into that vocal fry because it's so relaxed? Oh, that kind of thing. We want to be relaxed. If we kind of pounce on a low note, it's just going to pop up and it's going to be just a little bit sharp and sound a little bit out of tune. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take that yeah and we're going to sing a few lines and then we're going to go right to the lyric. Now, this is called the exercise to the lyric exercise. It creates a pathway because a lot of times we want to have a certain sound in our voice, but we don't know how to find it. So these little exercises are gold. I tell you, they're gold. I'm sure some of you can attest to that, but they're gold. They help you find that spot. I love yeah because it is very relaxed and very speech-like. So I want you to follow along with me. We're going to do some yes, and then we're going to go into the lyric, okay? So, Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Here is where I lay it down. Every burden, every crown. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. This is my surrender. This is my surrender. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. This is my surrender. Here is where I lay it down. Every lie and every doubt. This is my surrender. How was that? Did that work for you? Yeah? It creates a really nice speech-like, it really feels prayer-like. Okay, so that was our first mix. Now the one thing we can add to that mix is a minimizer. And this is the only little phonetic thing that I want to address today, and that is the letter R. So we got a lot of R's in this. Here is where I lay it down. Every burden, when you bring your tongue really tight, I want you to go You should feel that tongue is touching the roof of your mouth. Okay, so we want open space inside. That really helps a lot. So if you say, instead of saying here with the tongue coming up, your tongue is almost going to be kind of behind your bottom teeth. Here. Now you may not talk like that, but it sounds fantastic when you sing. Here is where I lay it down. It's very different than here is where I lay it down. Okay, so you can, if you have lyrics at home, you can just circle all the R's. It's a great thing to do anytime, but this song has a lot of R's. Okay, that's all we're going to do for that section. Now we're going to move into the chorus. And the chorus is quite a bit higher than the verse. So we're going to use a goo, but we want to use that hooty goo because we don't want just a head voice that goes, I will make room for you. That's just like head. It's a little bit airy, but not even that breathy. It's just head. But we want it to have a little bit more of a mix in it. So goo, 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 and I will make room. And a little bit of a whine in it also helps, okay? So let's go through the whole chorus and we're gonna just practice your goo. Be careful when you come down. Goo, 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 right there. Goo. Especially if maybe you come from a more of a head voice background, it'll be easy to just go goo instead of goo, to hold on to that, a little bit of the hooty, goo, goo. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna sing it on goo. Goo, 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 goo. Goo, goo. Goo, 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 goo. Goo, 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 goo. Goo, 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 goo. Goo, goo. Goo, 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 goo. Goo, 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 goo. All right, how did that go? Did you hear a little bit of hoot in your goo? Yeah, that's good. Okay, so now let's go from exercise to lyric. We'll do a few lines in goo and then we'll flip right into our lyric, okay? So here we go. Goo, 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 goo. Goo, goo. Goo, 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 goo. Goo, 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 goo. Lyric. And I will make room for you to do whatever you want to. Do whatever you want to. Okay, I think I didn't quite do that right. Let's do that again. I think I added a little extra something. I'm overthinking it for you. Okay, so let's sing the lyric. And I will make room for you to do whatever you want to. Do whatever you want to. Okay, back to the goo. Goo, 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 goo. Goo, goo. Goo, 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 goo. Goo, 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 goo. Okay, back to the lyric. And I will make room for you to do whatever you want to. Do whatever you want to. Keep going. And I will make room for you to do whatever you want to. Do whatever you want to. Excellent. Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to move on and we're going to go to the bridge, and I'm going to actually hand this over to Chesney again, and she's going to walk us through the bridge.
Yeah. So our tendency in this bridge is probably one of two things. If you don't bring in pharyngeal, either you're going to want to push up because this is the highest part of the song, right? Shake up the ground of all my tradition, break down the walls of all my religion. Your way is better, better. And you'll go flat, trying to push up to that high note. Or you will just kind of instinctively switch to head, right? So shake up the ground of all my tradition, break down the walls, which is pretty maybe for a low bridge or something like that, but not when we want that powerful sound. And especially when it goes to the your way is better, your way is better, right? It loses all of its power. It just drains it. So we're going to add some pharyngeal. We're going to use that nay that we used earlier. So if you're doing this with me, just give me a good nay, nay, nay again. Okay, we're going to warm up that pharyngeal. Nay, nay, nay. And we're just going to sing this melody all the way through on the bridge on a nay. Okay, so start right here. Nay, 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 nay. Nay, 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 nay. Nay, 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 nay. Nay, 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 nay. Nay, 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 nay. Nay, 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 nay. Okay, good. Now we're going to kind of apply the nay to our lyric, okay? And we are still very grounded in our chest, but we are adding a lot of pharyngeal in there to help us reach those higher notes without strain, without pushing up unhealthily on our voice. So now let's just sing that first line on a nay, and then we'll go back and add the lyric. So nay, 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 shake up the ground of all my tradition. Next line. Nay, 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 break down the walls of all my religion. Nay, 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 your way is better. Nay, 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 your way is better. I noticed on my voice it was wanting to lose some of what was there on the when it goes down, because we're making such a jump from your way is it's like that's a big interval. So keep the pharyngeal in there even on the low parts. Nay, 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 your way is better. And it will help you mix all the way down to that jump and back down. So anyway, that was a little tip I noticed for me.
That was a great tip, Chesney. Am I in there? Can you hear me? Yes. Okay, good. That was a great tip. That is something that is often easily missed is to make sure you hold on to that fringale in the lower part before you jump up. So thank you so much for that. And there's 2 lines in that bridge that have a lot of R's that if you use them too much, it is just too much. So that would be your way is better. So we don't want your way is better, but it's more of a your. So can you say your? Your way, excuse me, is better. So it's like better. Yeah. Better. Yeah. Your way is, and then you can do your better with a better. Yeah. And it sounds much better and it's a lot easier to sing. Chesney, could you just give us a little run through that? Just do that part. You actually were not hanging on to the R's. I thought you did a fantastic job. But do you mind kind of walking us through that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so narrowing the mouth will help so much in this part, like Cherie's saying. So, even on that, shake up the ground of all my tradition, break down the walls of all my religion, and I'll let you practice that on your own time, keeping your mouth narrow. But that line that you're talking about, your way is better. Your way is better. Your way is better.
That was really good. And you know what I actually noticed? As you sang the word better, instead of it being T's, you just modified it to a D. Better.
Yeah.
Better. Which is also easier because it's more relaxed in the mouth.
For sure.
That was great. Thank you so much. So I'm wondering if anybody would like to try something, would want to try a little bit of the song, if you want to try a little bit of the verse, the chorus, the bridge, see if there's something, if you're wondering how it's working in your voice. Love to listen to you and give you some feedback. Anybody want? Give us a little try. Or if anyone has some questions that they may have. So clear, isn't it? Yes. That's really fun if you don't have a question, but if you would like to have some feedback, it's so much fun. We would love to help you out with that. But thank you so much for being a part of this tutorial. It was so good to see you all. I'm just gonna, oh, here's this. Can you run? Okay, let me read this. There's a new message here. Can you run through it one time? Okay, this is from Priscilla. Are you asking if we would run through the whole song, or what is your question? We can unmute you. You want to unmute? Yeah.
Sorry, I just unmuted it. Yeah, if I could just hear it. I mean, I know you don't have to go not through the whole song, but maybe just like to hear it all together.
Okay, I tell you what. Why don't we do this? I don't think we've ever done this before, but just for fun. Okay, I will sing like verse 1 and the chorus, and then we're gonna go to the bridge, and then Chesney's gonna do it. Does that sound good if you sing the bridge? We're gonna do like a tag team.
Sounds great.
Okay, so here we go. Yeah. Okay, and you guys can sing along if you want, but I'm gonna mute you because it just doesn't work good when we all sing. Unfortunately, wouldn't it be great if we could all sing together on Zoom? But there's that time lapse. Okay, so here we go. Here is where I lay it down, every burden, every ground. This is my surrender. This is my surrender. Here is where I lay it down, every lie and every doubt. This is my surrender. and I will make room for you to do whatever you want to, do whatever you want to, and I will make room for you to do whatever you want to, do whatever you want to.
Yeah. And the bridge. Shake up the ground of all my tradition, break down the walls of all my religion. Your way is better, your way is better. Shake up the ground of all my tradition, break down the walls of all my religion. Your way is better, your way is better.
That was so good, Chesney. I was like, oh, I just wish we could have that ramp up in between, the instrumental, because we kind of went from like the light head mix to like wah, wah, wah.
I know, I almost went into a chorus and I resisted. You could do the last chorus in a power mix.
That is true. You could take that nay, or you could take a wah, and you could do it more of a power mix as well. For sure. That would be very good.
Let me know how these strategies go for you. If you have any questions, just post them below. As always, I encourage you to check out my courses at theworshipvocalist.com. The most important thing you can do for your voice is to be exercising it consistently 3 to 5 times per week using specific strategic exercises that work out your chest, head, and pharyngeal resonators and train your voice to mix them together. I have hundreds of exercises that I've created for you, along with video demonstrations and downloadable audio workouts. So if you don't already have a Worship Vocalist subscription, make sure to check that out at theworshipvocalist.com.